Have you ever taken a statistics class and wondered why on earth we divide by n-1 instead of just n when calculating the standard deviation? It is one of the most memorized yet least understood rules in statistics. Today, we are going to stop memorizing and start understanding the underlying logic. Welcome to the comprehensive guide on degrees of freedom. By the end of this video, you will conceptually visualize what degrees of freedom mean, why estimating the mean has a mathematical cost, and why dividing by the total number of observations actually lies to us about reality. Let's dive in. To truly understand degrees of freedom, we must define what they are fundamentally. Degrees of freedom represents the number of independent pieces of information that are free to vary when estimating statistical parameters. Imagine a system where components can move independently. The degrees of freedom measure that exact liberty. In the context of variance, it's typically denoted as n-1. But why? Why isn't every single data point in our sample an independent piece of information? To answer this, we need to understand the mechanics of the sample variance formula and the hidden constraints within it. Let's talk about the cost of estimating the mean. To calculate the standard deviation or variance, we first need to know where the center of the data is. Since we rarely know the true population mean, mu, we are forced to use the sample mean, denoted as x bar. The moment you calculate x bar and place it into your standard deviation formula, you have just put the final piece of a mathematical puzzle into place. By using the sample mean to find the spread, you have inherently paid a price. You have introduced a mathematical restriction to your dataset. This restriction is an unbreakable mathematical law. The sum of all deviations from the mean must always equal exactly 0. If you measure how far every data point is from their average, the positive distances will perfectly cancel out the negative distances. This isn't just a coincidence, it is a fundamental property of the arithmetic mean itself. Because of this zero-sum game, your data points are no longer entirely free agents. They are bound together by an invisible mathematical leash that forces them to balance perfectly around the center. Let's visualize this loss of independence with a practical example. Suppose you have a sample of 5 numbers, and I tell you that their average must be exactly 10. For the sum to balance out, the total of these numbers must be 50. Now, I give you the freedom to choose the first 4 numbers completely at random. You can pick 2, 20, 5, and 1. You had total freedom for those 4 slots. But the 5th number, you have 0 freedom. To reach the required sum of 50, that final number is forced, trapped, and mathematically destined to be exactly 22. Now let's look at the numerator of the variance formula, the sum of squared deviations. At first glance, it looks like we are adding up n independent distances, but as we just proved, they are not entirely independent. There are really only n-1 pieces of genuinely independent information. The final distance is entirely predictable and trapped by the sample mean you calculated at the very beginning. We only have n-1 degrees of freedom because that first parameter estimation consumed exactly 1 degree of freedom. So why do we divide by n-1 instead of n? This brings us to the concept of statistical bias, a cornerstone of econometrics. If we divided by n, we would be falsely assuming that every single data point had total freedom to vary. Because the last point is anchored to the sample mean, the variability inside our sample tends to be artificially smaller than the true variability of the whole population. By dividing by a slightly smaller number, n-1, we mathematically inflate our result just enough to perfectly compensate for that artificial shrinking. This correction is known as Bessel's correction, providing us with an unbiased estimator. To bring it all together, think of a massive 100-piece jigsaw puzzle representing your data. When calculating variance using a sample mean, 99 of those pieces can be scattered anywhere on the board. They have total freedom of movement. But to complete the picture, that 100th piece must perfectly snap into the singular remaining whole. If you want to calculate the average freedom of movement of this entire system, you must divide the total movement by the pieces that actually had a choice, the 99 pieces. Dividing by 100 would be lying, because piece number 100 never had an option. And that is the essence of degrees of freedom. It is not just an arbitrary -1, it is an accounting mechanism for statistical honesty. Every time we estimate a parameter, we lose a degree of freedom, restricting the chaotic independence of our data. Stop memorizing equations and start seeing the mathematical balance behind them. References for this conceptual framework include Basic Econometrics by Damodar Gujarati and Mathematical Statistics by John E. Freund. Thank you for watching, and keep exploring the beauty of statistics.